Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Promoted Sandra. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut and sew this beautiful gown. If this is something you're interested in, then keep up watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and also share if you end up enjoying this video. Stay tuned. This is the material I'm going to be using. This is crepe and I have about 3 yards of crepe, okay, and this one is a milk color. You can make use of any material of your choice and any color of your choice. So guys, to make this dress, I'm going to be making use of my pattern paper to draft the upper part of this dress. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and mark a straight line across my pattern paper. This is going to be serving as the starting line. I will go ahead and place my tape on this line I just marked. I will mark my bust point line, which is 10 inches. I will mark my under bust, which is 30.5 inches. I will go ahead and mark my half length. My half length is 15 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and bring down my tape. From this half length, I will add extra 3 inches. The reason is because of the belt on the waist. If you check the belt on the waist of this dress, you are going to see that the pleating did not start from the half length of the dress. So the total length I have here is 18 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and mark a straight line across these points. Instead of marking a straight line across the waistline, I will just go ahead and mark a straight line at the hemline. So this is now going to be serving as the waistline. So there will not be need of me marking a line here and also marking a line here. I'll go ahead and label it bust point, under bust, and waistline. I will come to the shoulder line. I will mark my shoulder measurement. I'll go ahead and mark 7 like this. So right now, I'm going to determine how long I want the sleeve of this dress to be. If you check this dress very well, you are going to see that the dress has a continuation sleeve. So I will go ahead and place my tape on this point, this shoulder line. I will measure 9 inches downward, okay? So the length of the sleeve is going to be 9 inches. I will place my tape on this point here. I will come down by ½ inch for shoulder slope. I will take the neckline measurement. So the length of the neckline I'm working with is 4 inches. Then the wideness is 3 inches, okay? I will just go ahead and connect the points together with my French curve like this. I'll just go ahead and connect it. Then I will mark the shoulder slope like this. The next thing I'm going to be doing is to determine how wide I want the sleeve to be, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and place my tape on this shoulder slope line. I will measure 9 inches downward. So I'll go ahead and mark a straight line from this point here to this point. I will come to the bust point here. I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark 9.5 inches. I will divide the under bust by 4. I will mark it, which is going to give me 8 inches. I will divide my waist measurement by 4. I will mark it. I will add 1 inch here for ease allowance and sewing allowance. I will come to the under bust. I will add 1 inch. I will come to the waistline. I will add 1 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect this point to this point and down to this point like this. This point here, I will connect it to meet up with this point here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my French curve to achieve this. If you don't have French curve, you can go ahead and use your free hand. I'll place it like this and curve it. So this is my under bust line. I will place my tape on the under bust like this. I will mark 2 inches upward, okay, like this. I will connect it. I will just mark it straight. So I will place my ruler like this. From these 2 inches, I'll mark a slant line like this. Let me quickly say this before I cut it out. The 3 inches I added at the down includes both the sewing allowance, okay? So I'm not going to be adding sewing allowance when I'm cutting on my fabric. So this is going to be the one at the down. Then I'll go ahead and open it up. This is what we are going to have at the end of the day. I hope you guys understand. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to use the splash and spread method to be able to achieve the pleat on both sides. So what I'm going to be doing, as you can see, I already have a line here that indicates that this is the center. So I'm going to go ahead and place my tape on the middle like this. I'll mark 2 inches like this. I'll mark 2 inches again. I'll mark another 2 inches. Okay. The splash and spread method I wanted to use, I just felt like it's not going to work. As you can see, you're going to see the pencil line on it, but I'm just going to be showing you guys what I did at the end of the day. So I just wanted to mark a slant line from the 2 inches I marked earlier straight to the neckline. I just marked it straight just like this, as you can see. So once I was done marking it, I will just go ahead and cut it open. And when you are cutting it, just make sure you don't end up cutting out everything. Just end it close to the neckline. Can you see what I have here? So I'll go ahead and cut up the other one. Then I'll also go ahead and cut this other part. As you can see, my fabric is folded into 2. So just go ahead and fold your fabric into 2 like this. This is the center front and this is the side that is closed. So this center front on my pattern paper, I'm going to place it at the center front here. So before you start pinning it, make sure you have space at the top here like this, okay? So let's just go ahead and pin it. So once I'm done pinning it, I'm just going to go ahead and measure the space interval I want to have from here to here. So I'll go ahead and measure 2 inches. I want the space to be 2 inches. So I'll go ahead and pin it down as well. So guys, this is it. I've gone ahead to pin it down and I have 2 inches space here, 2 inches. So I just feel like I should add more gather to this dress. So what I'm going to be doing is this. I will mark another 2 inches and just mark it straight like this. I'll go ahead and use my marker to connect this together so that I can cut it out. I'll just go ahead and connect it. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So as you can see, you're going to see that I went ahead to add 1/2 inch draining allowance, okay? So if you're a beginner, go ahead and mark it out on your fabric with a check before cutting it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the pins. So I'm just going to go ahead and gather it back. I'm going to be using it to cut for the back. I'll notch the center. Then I'll also notch this part here. And also I'm going to be folding my fabric into 2 like this. Okay, I'll go ahead and place my pattern paper on it and cut it out. I'm not going to be adding any sewing allowance. And I'm going to be cutting out 2 pieces of this. One is going to be serving as the front and the other one will be serving as the lining. So guys, I've gone ahead to use seal tape to seal all the lines down, okay, all the splash and spread I did. So I will also advise, before you splash it, before cutting it like this, just make sure you cut at the back first before cutting it separately like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and join it together right away and cut the back part of this dress. So the back part is not going to have half cuts. The half cut is just going to be at the front. I don't want the back to have half cuts, okay? So my fabric is folded into 2. I'm just going to use my straight ruler to mark a straight line like this. So what I have here is about 1 inch, the wideness. I will go ahead and mark it on my fabric. I'm just going to go ahead and place it on this line I just marked. I'll go ahead and pin it. I'll go ahead and place my tape on the shoulder line like this. I'm going to take note of my half length, which is 15 inches. I'm just going to mark it like this. I will extend the line to my fabric. It's very important to remove zip bulge. I will place my tape on this place here like this. I will just mark ½ inch outward. So I'm going to be taking the depth of the neckline for the back. So I will come down by 1 inch for this. I'll go ahead and use my French curve to connect it. Then I will mark a straight line like this to the zip. So what I'm going to be doing, I'll mark a slant line from the neckline to this point. So I'll go ahead and extend this line. Then I will mark a slant line to this other side like this. This is how to remove zip bulge from your dress. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it as. So this is it. I also went ahead to add ½ inch at the top here. So we are done with the back. What I'm going to be doing next is to go ahead and cut out the lining for the neckline. So if you don't want to line the neckline, you can just go ahead and piping it, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and place my front fabric on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. After cutting it, I will remove my pin like this. Then I will just go ahead and cut how wide I want it to be like this. I don't want it to be too wide. Then I will pin this to it. Just go ahead and arrange it gently. So I will take it to the same machine and sew it around like this. Then I also do the same thing for the back. I will cut out the back lining just like the same way I cut this. Go ahead and cut the back and sew it as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew the neckline. Then after sewing it, I went ahead to notch it, just like as you can see. After notching it, I went ahead to top stitch on it, as you can see. So I'm going to be using my hemming gum to iron the neckline. I will just place it on each side like this, okay? To go ahead and properly do this, I will place it inside like this. Then I will go ahead and use my iron to iron it down. So before I sew it to this down part, I'm just going to go ahead and gather this place a little. I will gather it. So I'm not going to be using the manual way I normally used before. So I'm going to be using this industrial gathered footer. So I don't know, this is going to be the first time I'll be using it. I just ordered it. If you watch my vlogging video, you're going to see where I embossed this particular one. So let's try this out. Wow. So this is what I have here. As you can see, I've gone ahead to gather it. So I'm just going to see if it's going to fit into this one. I'm going to be doing some adjustment so that it can fit into this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and stretching it out. I'm just going to go ahead and place my fabric on it like this. So right side facing the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this at the middle. I'll pin it down. So I'll pin this other side to this side. I'll take it to the same machine. I will sew it from the center down to this side. I will sew this other side down to this side. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is what I have, and this is how the front look like. I'm just going to go ahead and sew the lining on it. So I will go ahead and turn it like this. So I'll go ahead and place this one on it like this at the middle. Then I'll go ahead and pin it down. So I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it like this, like this. I'll go ahead and shift this one inside. I will join the edge together like this. I will sew it here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. Then I will come here. I'll push this one inside. I'll go ahead and pin it and also sew it like this. I've gone ahead to sew it and also turn it out. And this is the front part of it, as you can see. And this is how the back look like. So once you are done sewing it, all you just need to do is turn it out. So this is the back part. You can see how neat this is. Okay, so it's very important for you to do a knit work, most especially if you are doing it for a client. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to go ahead and join the back to the front. So I'll go ahead and join this together. This is the line we marked earlier for the zipper allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. So after pinning it, I'm going to go ahead and open it up and sew the back and the front together. So right side facing each other. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin the shoulder together first. So I will take this to the sewing machine. I will sew it with 1/2 inch. Then I will sew this other side with 1/2 inch. So this is it. I've gone ahead to sew the shoulder together, and I also went ahead to iron the zipper opening so that when I want to sew the zip, it will not be hard. So what I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and pin the side and also sew it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my body measurements and sew it. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and place my tape on the underbust and take my underbust measurements. So my underbust is 32. I'll place my tape on it like this. I will divide 32 by 2. I have 3 inches excess. So I will go ahead and mark 1.5 inch on this side and 1.5 inch on this other side. My waist is 34. I will divide it by 2. Then I have extra 2 inches left. I will mark 1 inch on this side. I will mark 1 inch on the other side. So I'll go ahead and use my curve ruler to curve the points together like this. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing, I will come to this other side. I will just mark 1/2 inch upward. Okay. Just go ahead and mark 1/2 inch upward like this. I'll go ahead and use my French curve to connect it to it like this. It's very easy. Then I'll come to the hem of the sleeve. I'll mark 1/2 inch as well. I'll go ahead and connect it. So just go ahead and use your French curve and connect it like this, or use your free hand to do it. If there's any other method you use in shaping your dress, then go ahead and use your method. So do well to like this video and comment on it in case you've not done that, because this really help my algorithm a lot. So I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is what I have, as you can see. I'm going to be cutting out the gather at the down, and I'm also going to be cutting out the band on the sleeve. If you check the sleeve, there's a band on it. So for me to be able to know the length of what I'm going to be cutting out for the down part, I'm just going to go ahead and place my tape on the shoulder of this dress. I will measure what I have here. So what I have here is about 17 inches. I will minus 1/2 inch from this 17 inches, which is going to be serving as the sewing allowance. I'm going to be left with 16.5 inches. The full length I'm working with is 42 inches. So 16.5 minus 42 is going to give me 26.5 inches. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out the fabric for the pleating. So the length, as I earlier said, is 26.5 inches. So I added 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance, which gave me a total of 28 inches. So what I have here is 28 inches. I even went ahead to join it. As you can see, I went ahead to do joining just for it to be enough. So I will advise, before cutting the upper part of your dress, go ahead and cut the down parts first. So whatever that is left, you can use it to cut the upper part of your dress. So I'll go ahead and measure it just to show you guys what I have here. My waist is 34 inches. So this is 34 inches. 1. This is 2. So this is 3 and 6 inches. So my waist is 34. So what I have here is 34 times 3 plus 6 inches. So I want the plenty to be kind of a little bit full. Okay, so if you don't want your whole plenty to be full, you can make it times 2 of your waist measurement or times 2.5. Before I sew the gather to the upper part of the dress, I'll first of all go ahead and sew the band to the sleeve. So I went ahead to fold my fabric into two like this and I ironed it. So once I was done ironing it, I went ahead to cut out the wideness of the band I'm going to be using. What I have here is about 2 inches. So I went ahead to cut out 2 pieces of it, which I'm going to be using for the 2 sleeve. I will go ahead and pin it to the hem of the sleeve like this. Just go ahead and pin it right side facing each other. Take it to the sewing machine and sew it around. And I will do the same thing for the other one. So I will just go ahead and open up the fabric I'm going to be using for the plenty. Please pay attention. I'll place my tape at the edge like this. I will mark 1 inch like this. I will just go ahead and mark another 1 inch. I'm just going to continue to mark 1 inch, okay, for the plenty. Just watch out what I'm doing. So once I'm done for the upper part, I will come to the down part. I will mark that same 1 inch, 1 inch like this. Just go ahead and mark 1 inch. So once I'm done marking it, I will pleat it like this. I will just go ahead and pleat it. I will pick the second one, this second line. I will pick it and make sure the fold is going to end on this next point, okay, point to point. So I'll go ahead and pin it down like this. I will move to the next point. I will pick this one here like this and I'll pin it down. So I will come to the down. I will also pin the down like this. I'll pick the second one. I will fold it. Go ahead and pin it. Pick it. Just go ahead and keep plaiting it like this. Just do it from the start to the end. So I'll go ahead and pin it at the center before ironing it because I want this to be straight. So make sure you make use of hot iron and please don't burn your cloth. So I'll go ahead and iron it like this and I will continue plaiting it. So I'm going to be doing this off the camera, okay, because this is really going to take time. I'll go ahead and plait it off the camera. I'm done plaiting it and this really took a lot of time. So you need to be patient when doing this, okay? So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now. I will remove the pin from the down. I will fold it with 1/2 inch, just like the same way you fold your wrapper or fold the hem of your dress. Then I will go ahead and also sew the upper part before attaching it to the upper part of the dress. This is me sewing it. When you are sewing it, just be careful while doing this, okay? So exercise patience and do this. I've gone ahead to sew it. I went ahead to fold the down as I earlier said with 1/2 inch. One thing I noticed is this, the pleating was kind of a little bit too tiny. So if you want yours to be 2 inch, you can go ahead and do it. So I'm just going to pick the edge like this together, we fold it and I will notch the center. It's very important for you to notch it. And I will also do the same thing for the top. I will fold the top into 2, I will notch the center. So I'll go ahead and place the top on it like this, right side facing the right side of the skirt. So I'll go ahead and pin the center, the part where I notch. I will pin the middle together like this. First of all, pin it. After pinning it, I will pin it to this other side like this, and I will pin the other side like this. Once I'm done pinning it, I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it, okay, with 1/2 inch from the middle here to this other side. Then after I'm done sew this side, I'll go ahead and sew this other side as well. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it and this is what I have. And I was having little excesses at the back, which is the zip area. I went ahead to cut it out off the camera. So just go ahead and if you have any excess, go ahead and open it up on the floor and cut it out, okay? The next thing I'm going to be doing is to go ahead and sew the zip on it and sew the back. But before I do that, I'll first of all go ahead and pin it down from the start to the end. So once I'm done pinning it, I will place my tape on the neckline. I will measure where I want the zip to stop. So I will measure 21 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark 21 inches. So I'll place my tip on that point I just marked. I will mark 1 inch inward from the start to the end. As I'm marking it, I'll be connecting it. Okay, so the part I am marking is the part I'm going to be sewing. You might not be seeing this because I'm using pencil. So I'll go ahead and connect the points together. I will take it to the sewing machine. I will sew it and it will end here. So once I'm done sewing it, I'll go ahead and sew the zip on it off the camera. So you can go ahead and use the normal zip or invisible zip. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew it and this is the end product. I hope this video was helpful. Please do it to like and comment. This really helped my algorithm a lot so that YouTube can recommend my video to more people to see. And guys, I now have a WhatsApp group for people who are interested in learning more about cutting and sewing. So I'm going to be leaving the link at the description section and at the comment section. Click on it to join. It's a WhatsApp group, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more on this channel. Stay tuned, stay blessed. Bye.